are listening to Lucha Afterground.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the inaugural episode of Lucha Afterground, probably the world's only Lucha Underground after show. So we are the world authority on Lucha Afterground. My name is Max. To my right.
Hi, I'm Travis.
And joining us,
Big Kev.
So, quick question. If we were to go around the table and you were to see 100 different moves demonstrated to you, how many do you think you could name? Kevin.
95?
95. Travis?
60 to 65.
I would probably have like 7 to 10. Okay, so now you understand where we're coming from for this. Guys, I'm very, very excited because today was the first time we got to see episode 1, season 2 of Lucha Underground. This is like Christmas to me. I loved the first season, and I'm just really excited to get into this. Kev, you didn't get a chance to watch the whole first season, did you?
No, I didn't watch it in its entirety. I saw Ultimate Lucha and handfuls of matches here and there.
Mm-hmm. Did you see the Mil Muertes Fenix match?
I did.
Yeah.
I saw Mil Muertes and Puma.
Mm-hmm.
And Puma and Johnny Mundo.
Cool. Well, that's pretty...
Iron Man. The Iron Man.
What's that? Iron Man match?
Yeah, that was a special one.
Cool. And Trev, you've watched it all?
Yeah. I binged.
Awesome.
Got caught up.
So we're just going to get right into it here and just go through the episode and see what happens. So the whole thing opens with Vampiro. I was surprised that was the opening shot, Vampiro's face.
It was incredibly shot. That was beautifully shot. Nice and really nice grit to the film. Felt good. It felt like a Lost episode almost for a second.
Yeah, and it opened in the hospital from Terminator 2, where Vampiro, the albino bullfrog, was. Look at his face and tell me he's not part bullfrog.
Not handsome.
And he was being interviewed. He was in the Sarah Connor position. Mm-hmm. And it starts off in the mental institution because he's mental.
Mm-hmm. It is. And so we get to see some nice like psychotic sort of visions from Vampiro, and then he gets released. I think it's implied that he was faking that he's been cured of his psychosis.
Well, he was first prescribed atropiprazole.
That's a thing.
I had to write that down. Yeah. I think we should look it up if it isn't.
Over, under, how many times will we actually hear the word atropiprazole from now until the end of the season?
Of this podcast, 0. That was the last time. Trav's attempt was the last time. I can't imagine I think they'll call them pills.
Yeah.
Is Vampiro had been taking his pills because there's no way they're going to refer to it as antropiprazole.
No, I can see an angle where a doctor shows up and hits it like 4 or 5 times an episode, but beyond that, not much.
Okay,
write it down out there.
Yeah, over under, we're going to go with 5 times.
5.
Okay. So we'll keep a tally. Who picks up Vampiro from the hospital?
That was Macklemore Stryker. Matt Stryker with a new haircut.
Great. In the middle of the desert.
Yeah, and did you notice that he was standing beside a car that was draped in a black sheet?
Yeah, like he had the dust cover.
My first question, what's the kayfabe reason for keeping that thing covered at that moment?
There's literally no reason.
The only reason to keep it covered is to have that really pretty slow-mo shot when they reveal it.
Yeah, because when you go to pick up your friend at a mental institution, there's really no need to protect your vehicle.
It did kind of seem like they were nowhere near a mental institution, too, when they were. It was like out in the desert.
Yeah.
It's like, meet me here at this time.
So Matt Stryker picks up Vampiro. And he mentions that the temple is not quite what it used to be. It's a lot more of a darker place.
Temple Grandin, yes.
Temple Grandin has gone dark. Dark. She's slaughtering the cows herself.
Not as whimsical.
Yeah. So we go from Vampiro being picked up by Matt Stryker to Katrina, who has taken up residence in Dario Cueto's old office, having a conversation with Fenix. Fenix is asking for a match with Mil Muertes, but Katrina says, first you must fight whom?
King Cuerno. King
Cuerno, who was looking like the yellow King Cuerno. Like he had the deer horns, very reminiscent of True Detective season 1. That's all I can think of. When he was walking out, I was like, the yellow King Cuerno.
Okay.
I was like, Yellow King. I don't know what this is.
No, I'm racist. That's what I was.
I thought that was our first real big surprise is that Katrina's now in charge.
Yeah. Well, here's my question. Is Katrina in charge or is Mil Muertes in charge?
She's got
is
that rock.
anyone really ever in charge?
She's got that rock, bro.
Yeah, that's true. So Katrina books Fenix versus King Cuerno.
I think there was one quick reference to a deer hoof. Remember, she picked up a deer hoof for some reason.
Because that's King Cuerno.
Okay.
She was sort of like implying like you know who's coming up if I hold
she
up
had little
this
symbols of everybody for when she's like, and you would be playing against.
You have to think that it
this
would be
little sexy star I hold on my desk.
You have to think it would be easier for her to just say King Cuerno than to go into the woods, track and shoot a white-tailed buck, cut off its hoof, and bring that back into the city and have it cured. Have it cured. Because I didn't see any maggots. They didn't look. So she took it to a taxidermist. And you're probably, I don't know.
Oh, trust me. Everyone's telling her, no, trust me, it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Travis, I forgot to introduce you to the soundboard.
Okay.
We've got only 4 sounds now, but I swear I will add at least 2 from this last episode to the next time we record. We've got.
The question is, will you join us?
I'm not sure how I'll use that.
At the end of every episode.
Oh.
We'll be back next week. The question is,
will you join us?
I'm glad you're here, Kevin. We've got.
They work for me!
One of my favorite quotes.
Mm-hmm.
Gracias.
And.
Violence.
Yeah, short and sweet.
Yeah.
Short and sweet. So let's go right into the first bout of
Violence.
And we get King Cuerno and Fenix. Couple of things for me.
for the Gift of the Gods title.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that.
Which also, you guys really enjoy the look of that belt.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I don't like it. It looks like a 1930s boxing title, like too many plates.
Yeah, but it's kind of not a belt, so that's why I'm okay with it being a little different.
What do you mean, not a belt? Oh, yeah, okay.
It's not. You're not a champion if you're holding it.
It's like a money
in my eyes.
Yeah. It's like a money in the. So for those of you who don't know, the Gift of the Gods is a title that you basically have earned through a ludicrous series of matches that allows you to cash in a week in advance, not like Money in the Bank, but cash in a week in advance to have a title match against whomever is the top dog in Lucha Underground. So at the end of season 1, Fenix had earned the Gift of the Gods, which is represented as a belt. And now he's going to fight King Cuerno for it in this episode. The match itself, what do you guys think?
It was bananas, because there was, like I said off the top, I've been watching wrestling for 33 now, I would say 25 years, and there was no less than 5 moves that I've never seen ever. Fenix flying through the air like a young Oksana Bayul. He hits that one-footed springboard to the outside where he cut like 3 twists midair.
The corkscrew dive.
Gorgeous.
That was the probably best spot of the night.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Snug. That's one word I wrote down for this. Vampiro said the match was getting snug.
It was snug.
He really overpronounced it.
That's going on the soundboard next.
One of the few Vampiro quotes that I think we liked, or at least that I know I liked.
Yeah, he's like here's the thing about Vampiro. You know when you hear about somebody and you go, you hear like someone else is like, that guy's a real dumb guy. That's like, if you ask me about Vampiro, that's what I'd say. I go, he's a real dumb guy. He's very like cool and creative, but he's also, like a dumb guy. He's one of those. He's like a dumb guy.
I feel like I like Vampiro. I like his enthusiasm, and I like how he can kind of get swept up in the action, which I think is cool. I like how his experience kind of shines through a lot of the time. But yeah, I definitely feel like he has a vocabulary of like I don't feel like he really puts in any preparation.
He's from Thunder Bay. Don't ask too much.
Yeah, that was the other thing I loved about that opening sequence with Vampiro in the hospital, is that they were referring to him as his real name, Ian Hodgkinson, right? Like Ian.
Yeah.
I know a comedian locally who went to high school with him and was 2 or 3 years younger than him, and he told me everybody in high school wanted to be like him. He was a rock star, charismatic guy in high school. He said he started selling steroids to the wrestling team, and everybody wanted to be on steroids because Ian Hodgkinson was jacked and ripped, and the ladies loved him.
Sure. I would guess that'd probably be, in terms of his face, probably the best times of his life.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't think we're seeing the best.
No, because he is clearly morphing into a bullfrog slowly.
I saw just a picture of him when he was in WCW from like 1995. He looks completely different.
Unrecognizable.
Unrecognizable.
Yeah.
Unrecognizable. that corkscrew dive was
I should just go back and say allegedly dealing steroids. I'm like, that's just what he said. And I don't think, like, Vampiro, if you've ever watched him be interviewed, know that A, he's a dumb guy, and B, he's a very open book. So I don't think that he would have a problem, because he recently did an interview where he said that the
Are you talking
souls
about Cabana?
of... What's that?
The Cabana he just did?
Prior a shoot interview he did where he said that the souls of 2 dead gangsters are following him around.
Oh, yeah.
They followed him from Central America to Thunder Bay.
Yeah. That's a lot of bumps in the head, man.
Yeah.
no
Right?
kidding.
I can't hate him for that. I have a love-hate with Vampiro in general, in this show. There are times when I can't imagine anybody else other than him in that spot, and there's times where it's like, ugh, could it please be anybody else?
Yeah, I think that's a perfect way to put it. Any other notes from this match? At times, I felt like there was a group of moments, a sort of a cluster of moments at the very beginning where things just didn't quite seem to be going smoothly.
It's very slow. Like,
It slowed down in parts.
Yeah, it felt a little rusty at times. Like I would never say that anything there was like botched, but just felt like timing was a little off. I don't know. These guys, I assume, are wrestling regularly. Maybe it was just nerves. Maybe it was something about that just wasn't quite connecting off the top.
I thought Fenix carried it a little more. I think Fenix is better talent. Not that King Cuerno is awful. I just think Fenix might have something special. Go ahead. His sell on that DDT to the outside was awesome. Which was one of 3 Randy Orton references, because there was 2 RKOs and that the DDT out to the outside
Off the apron?
Yeah, off the apron. That one cutter into the Dragon Sleeper that we all popped
He
for.
did a cutter into a camel clutch style Dragon Sleeper, which, like, I've seen Ultimate Dragon used to do the Dragon Sleeper, and I just had never seen it from that angle. So it was just another one of those things where it was like innovation, which is something that you don't necessarily get when you watch wrestling on Monday. That and the finish of that move is something I'd never seen before, a package tombstone pile driver.
Yeah.
Which that's just fucking bananas.
Yeah.
Kevin said when he saw that, if Fenix kicks out, he's leaving.
Yeah, I was going to leave Max's house because, if you kick out of that, then what is this all about?
And he didn't kick out. He lost. I was shocked that he lost.
Not after that finisher, as you said, but that they would open. But that's a good way to get the ball rolling.
Here's the thing. They're going to keep us on our toes.
Yeah.
Some wrestling companies, they let you sit back, rest on your heels. These guys, fully on our toes. Now, I feel bad that we haven't mentioned that this entire time Mil Muerte was sitting on a throne watching this match. Yeah. And my God, what a body.
Yeah. And just the same look, man. The same look. Just not a change in anything.
Yeah. Do you think that because the way they positioned him in terms of like the geography of the temple, he was sitting behind what would be considered like the hard camera, like the main camera. So when they're actually wrestling, do you think he was sitting there just watching the match, or do you think they were like, okay, you don't actually have to sit here?
No, he was there.
I think they want to maintain the illusion for everybody who's there. Right?
I hope
that was a great reveal. We should have made that to lead into that match.
Matt Stryker came in and took a dust cover off Mil Muerte like he was a Cadillac convertible.
Oh man! So Cuerno wins Gift of the Gods.
This was the best match of the night, quite.
Oh yeah,
without a doubt.
I don't want to spoil anything, but this is the only one that I gave stars to. The other ones I didn't.
Stars? Should we go around?
Yeah.
No.
A bunch of them.
Yeah.
I said 3.5. It was really good and a good start. But yeah, I did have those legs, and I did feel that a little more Fenix offense than it should for Cuerno to be going over.
Trav gives stars. We will just react.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I like that.
Okay.
Gracias.
So after Cuerno wins, we get a nice little moment with Son of Havoc, Evilise, and Angelico rolling up to the temple. And Angelico still dressed up like a Monster Energy drink.
Yeah. with the new like the bleach, the peroxide bags.
He came straight to the temple from a Billy Talent concert and was ready to go.
So all 3 roll in, expecting to compete to get the trios belts back, but Katrina magically appears out of thin air and lets them know that they're going to be booked in a three-way match to determine the number 1 contender, who would then challenge Mil Muerte's for the championship belt that night.
Well, all I know is off the top, Matt Stryker warned us it was going to be a menage a trois of brutality, and I cringed so hard that my spine popped.
Yeah, I have cringe-inducing written on here a couple times involving Stryker and Vampiro. And again, I don't want to spend time pissing on them for this whole thing because they're not terrible. It just has terrible moments. I think. Is that safe to say?
So Katrina proposes the one-on-one, and the three of them decide to go for it. I don't even know if they had a choice. I felt like it was presented like they had a choice, but maybe not.
No, it was either have this match or fucking beat it.
Yeah.
Or are we cursing? Sure. Yeah. All right. Have this match or get the fuck out.
So they get their individual entrances, and then before the match starts, they cut back to Katrina talking to King Cuerno, and this is the first time we hear King Cuerno speak. He did not say a word in season 1.
I knew that Puma hadn't, but I didn't realize.
Yeah. And honestly, I can't remember a word he said.
Me neither. I remember he's wearing a white cowboy hat. That was a nice touch.
So anyways, so Cuerno said something.
So and so the implication is that they're involved with each other, and what happened with Fenix was part of a master plan.
Is that what?
That's what I got out of that.
And so now maybe Cuerno is going to sit on that gift of the gods, maybe just incubate it, not cash it in. So that would make sense why they would have him win it from Fenix, because that way the good guys can't go right to challenge.
They're mother henning it.
Yeah.
Mother henning it.
Very good. And maybe she sweetened the deal by giving them $60.
Oh.
That's a teaser for something that happens later. I want to talk quickly about their entrances. Son of Havoc, super over. Angelico's over. Ivelisse, she's pretty over. They're all, I mean, that crowd.
She's pretty, over.
That crowd is obviously given more of a, come on, I need you to be loud beforehand. You can imagine, because it's a TV show that's about wrestling. I think that's how people have described Lucha Underground, more so than just a professional wrestling show. So I think it has more, I would wager, more audience kind of like encouragement and stuff, and when they can stop and do takes and stuff.
I hope that totally makes sense to me, and I can definitely see that being plausible, more than plausible, likely. In my heart, I hope it's not true.
Yeah,
I hope they are just all that.
Even with that, you still see organic, real cheers and stuff's coming from people who are really excited and stuff like that. I think they're just kind of guiding it a little bit.
If you guys, we're recording this in Vancouver, Canada, not too far from LA. If you got tickets to a taping, would you go?
Yeah, for sure.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, you got to figure out your work. Yeah. You got to pay for tickets, plane tickets down there.
Well, I mean,
I'm already out. It sounds like a lot of fun.
I'm not going to bend over backwards.
Yeah.
Right on. Okay. Because I would assume that after this podcast picks up, they'll be flying us out there.
Yeah. Any second.
So, the other thing you notice that they took away the bands. No more rock and roll to start the shows.
The era of death, man.
The era of death. Ooh,
that means
I like that.
Like death all
Darkness
arts.
reigns.
Yeah.
Music is illegal. Yeah.
It's like Footloose. That's where this is going. Bacon's gonna show up.
Whoa, that would be awesome.
Let's think about that for a second. I want everybody out there listening. I want both of you guys listening to think about that. Kevin Bacon shows up in the temple, Grandin, and just starts dropping fucking elbows, moonsaults, hits a standing 450, gets up, and then he points over, and at the bandstand is his brother. He runs over and joins him, and the band's back together. The Bacon brothers are playing music.
The Bacon brothers, of course.
So the match itself between Son of Havoc, Ivelisse, and Angelico.
Angelico hit a knee in the corner.
That was really
on Ivelisse that was incredible. I've never seen a flying knee into the corner like that.
Our first beautiful. Our first intergender match of the year, which always is kind of delicate balance, to say the least.
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Oh, really?
Because I don't buy it. Even in the era of I was going to say Ronda Rousey, but she just lost. So Ronda Rousey, even when she was unbeatable and everybody thought she was the best in the world, and she was, her against a guy at the same weight, she would have died. So then these guys are so much larger than Ivelisse. And I know it's not legitimate competition. I should state that I am aware, but it's something about it bugs me.
I don't. For me, it's not necessarily suspension of disbelief. It's just the, you think of the domestic abuse and assault numbers out there.
And that stuff's all great. But the thing, I kid.
Yeah, it's just that's what makes it And sometimes they can handle. I thought today they handled it okay. It was fine. It's better in this match than it was in the one to follow.
I was going to say. Yeah. So if I'm understanding you, Kev, you just don't believe it that like a female could. Like,
it just like they're selling strikes from her as they would anybody else.
Right.
It just doesn't look. It just doesn't look good. And I think that too, if you're trying to catch a casual fan, they're going to turn it on and see a 140-pound woman, taking it to a 200 and something pound guy, and it just doesn't. It doesn't work. Plus, I'm sexist.
Gracias.
Okay, so other than
Who
that,
do we work for?
what's that?
Who do we work for?
They work for me.
Oh, that's right.
So I don't know.
Definitely way sloppier than they're not as snug. At this point, I thought that they were setting up a feud with Ivelisse and Katrina, and they still are.
Yeah, I could see that. I didn't realize, but Kev, you were saying that Katrina is former NXT.
She was with WWE NXT. Yeah, she was with Johnny Curtis. That's the only thing I ever saw her do was backstage. Promos,
but she probably got some training.
Really, really bad at acting. Like they still exist on YouTube. She was horrendously bad. So to see her in Lucha, it's like she's definitely picked up her game.
Yeah, she's really good.
Cool. Ivelisse wins the match, and which means that it's going to be Ivelisse versus Mil Muertes. And by the end of that episode, and I think like writing's on the wall. Of course, she's going to be murdered.
Shoot, murder.
Yeah. But before we get there, we get a really interesting interlude with 3 dudes in a car.
I think we call them bros more than dudes.
Yeah, sure. Those guys were bra. They were a bunch of bras.
So 3 bros pull up in some nondescript alley, like 300 miles away from the temple or something. Said something there. And who shows up at the side of the car? Black Lotus from before. These guys are looking for an underground fight club, something called the Temple, and she
Sorry, what were they looking for?
They were looking for the Temple.
Grandin?
Yeah. Well, this is my question: is if they are looking for the Temple somewhere else, is this implying that there's 2 temples?
Or else again, it's like Lost and it moves around. No, I don't think so. I think they're just lost. I think they're just...
That's a pretty big coincidence.
Yeah, for her to meet them in the middle of...
And they're looking for Dario Cueto's temple?
Maybe they're close.
Maybe Black Lotus and Dario are putting out rumors that this is, there's a temple around because they need to feed Dario's brother.
And that makes sense with what happens in the end, not giving it away. I wanted to say, really, when Black Lotus surprises them, the double take, if you have a chance to watch that again, the double take from the bro in the middle is killer.
Oh, yeah?
He was the guy who got most of the lines.
Good stuff. So we come back to the temple, and the match between Ivelisse and Son of Havoc and Angelico is still just kind of finishing up. I guess they're still in kind of like end of match celebration. And then Muertes comes down off his throne into the ring. Here comes Katrina, and out of nowhere is the Disciples of Death, the 3 skeleton-clad. That's right. The guys from the Daft Punk video show up, drag away. Son of Havoc, drag away Angelico, so they obviously can't interfere and save the day. And then Muertes just like obliterates Ivelisse.
Yeah. And to your point, Stryker tried really hard to put over, when I say your, I'm pointing at Kevin. Stryker really tried hard to put over her jiu-jitsu and talked about to try to make it interesting.
She grabbed a wrist and she was twisting his wrist, and Stryker said the wrist is the weakest joint in the body.
Is that true?
I
don't know.
Matt Stryker said it.
She did have a bit of a comeback, though.
Yeah. And I believed it the entire time.
The crowd was into it. The crowd was
when she was coming back, because but I think that's more on Muertes, because Muertes is a great monster heel, and the aura that they built around him already.
That's so true.
For years before he was Mil Muertes, he also wrestled as Ricky Banderas, as I was telling Trav earlier. He got his name Ricky Banderas by combining Ricky Martin and Antonio Banderas.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to try to do throughout the series of this podcast is come up with other combinations of Latin pop star names that he could go by. This episode, I will refer to Mil Muertes as Cheech Sabato Jr.
Nice.
They work for me!
Cool. So Muertes predictably beats Ivelisse. He retains the title. And then Katrina has him go back on Ivelisse and do some more damage. And it hadn't even occurred to me that we hadn't seen this person yet. But who shows up to save the day?
Prince Puma.
Mm-hmm. So, Prince Puma. So, I was kind of thinking, okay, there's probably going to be some kind of run-in, some kind of rescue here. Mm-hmm. Prince Puma shows up. Awesome, great moment. And
go home image, or so we thought.
Yeah, for sure. Thinking that's the end, right? That's a natural conclusion to this. And then out of nowhere, as a nice little twist, we get one more surprise, and that is
Pentagon Jr.
And Pentagon Jr., he blindsides Mil Muertes and breaks his arm.
Yeah, that was pretty heavy.
Which is one of the weakest joints in the body. Just through process of elimination.
So where... And then the episode...
And the crowd was red hot for that. They were hot, but there's a quick question. Who's more over, Pentagon or Puma in the temple?
Mm-hmm. That's tough. Because they're neck and neck. And like Pentagon, he's evil.
Yeah.
So it's funny because they're both so...
After that.
They're both so popular. Pentagon is like evil over, and Puma is a shining white meat babyface over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's close.
So what are any predictions for next episode? Where is this leading? I mean, Muertes, the evil king, has a broken arm.
Well, he doesn't have to fight, one would imagine, especially if Katrina's running the show.
Yeah. Does this just take Mil Muertes sort of out of the equation for a few weeks while they establish some other stories?
He's already been mother-henned.
Yeah, we're already mother-henning this sumbitch. So
son of a Sabato.
And that might give them some time to bring in some of the other characters that we haven't seen yet. Your Drago, your Aerostar, your little luchador,
Big Rick. Oh, that might. I was thinking that.
That's not his name.
Hey, we're gonna call you Big Rick because you're so little. Actually, I want to make a disclaimer that when we're making the sounds, when I'm trying to imitate the great, we haven't mentioned yet.
Gracias. We're just being racist, please don't think that it's anything but racist.
I'll do my best.
We showed up to a podcast table with 3 microphones and a pocket full of white privilege, and we are going to sprinkle that all over these Mexicans.
You're welcome.
So after the credits, we hear a car door close, footsteps on concrete, and all of a sudden it pans up, and the 3 bras are standing in an alley, and they're facing...
They work for me!
Dario Cueto! And Black Lotus is there, and she tells Cueto that these guys are looking to see some fights.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of interplay between the bras and Dario.
Bro, double take bro talks a little bit of sass.
That's right.
Pays for it.
He gets like a double ball shot. She threw a Batman punch at him, Tim Burton style Batman punch. You know what I'm talking about? Little back fist, little nonchalant back fist. How's your mush? One of those.
And then Dario charges them all $20 each to go see his underground fight club.
So yes, he takes $60 from these 3 dude bra honkies, and he says, "Oh, you will need the key." And then he sends them in to be,
and of course,
eaten to death.
Yeah, it's the key of his mysterious brother, who did it at one point. We know he ate a man, so I assume he ate these 3 young men as well.
How long before we see the brother?
Will we see him this season? Do you think?
I almost hope not. I don't know if I ever want to see the brother.
What if they don't get a 3rd season?
Yeah.
And then we never see... So it's going to be... they can't deadwood us. They have to continue.
They built it up already so much. Like, who do you have to find, like, the biggest person you can possibly find?
Okay, I'll do it.
It has to be supernatural.
That was Kevin's wrestling.
Yes, when I was a wrestling manager, I was known as Bukon, which, as we all know from the Satanic Bible, is the demon of hate.
It fits right in, man.
Wow.
Really
there you go. Learning things. Biblical things on Lucha Afterground.
So, overall, this episode?
Great to be back in the swing of things. I can't wait until it ramps up. Because I also feel like they're so deliberate with all of their episodes and their movements throughout that I think that they gave us a slower start with a couple of big moments, and then it's going to build. It's going to be such a great season.
Yeah.
They planted seeds.
Won't you join us?
The question is, will you join us?
That is the question.
But we only got one good match tonight, guys.
That's true.
There was only 3 matches.
There was
period.
3, but there was one good match.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there were bad.
Second match was okay. Third match was a write-off. You know, and sometimes we get 3 great matches. But we did get seeds were planted. We're ready to go.
I don't know if I've said it yet. I know I said it, but Mil Muertes, what a body!
The question is, will you join us?
All right, cool. For me, the thing doesn't start until Drago shows up. He's my man. I'm psyched. I want him to be there next week. Any characters you guys are looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the return of Jack Evans.
Yeah, gross.
Because that guy is fucking bananas. He can do a backflip off a dime.
Wow.
Yeah. No, he's skilled. I see. Tell me something. Give me an adjective to describe his character in that first season.
Angelico-esque.
Sure. But Angelico has that. He's a Monster Energy drink extreme.
Well, he's a fucking. He's a street punk. Likes to break dance.
Yeah, no, I know of his reputation, and
He's a cool dude.
and he works well.
Guarantee you, he smokes dope. Yeah. Guarantee you, baby.
Just we know Rey Mysterio's coming. That's.
Oh yeah,
that is.
And you know that they'll have long-term plans for him because it was him and Mundo and Cuerno that were on ESPN the night before. This came on, which was really cool.
Oh yeah, Johnny Mundo's got to show up. He had that weird workout.
Yeah, they showed us the commercials on the. I was going to say the stream, the torrent, but on the channel for whatever reason when we were watching it. No, they showed us Johnny Mundo doing Spider-Man walks into push-ups that he punches the wall after he pushes up because that's good for punching people in the face. That's what he said. He said that out loud.
All right, so that's it for us. See you guys next week. Anything you want to? Anything else?
No, stick with us, guys. This should be fun.
We'll be back next week, but
The question is, will you join us?
Can any of you guys roll your R?
No.
Yeah, I can do like. Yeah.
I kind of have to gargle at the back.
Can you roll that into an R word?
Antonio, Alberto del Rir.
There you go.
Is that genetic? Is that a genetic thing?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Like, can you train to do that?
Sure. Because I couldn't do that from birth, I could tell you that much.
I've
Is this
always
going on the podcast? We
I
talking about
hope
if I
so.
can't? Brrr?
I can